Hello and welcome back to the Prime Major Tournament here on HeflaTV 1. This is going to be yet another Best of 1 series. This time it's going to be between Bige and the Prime. I have no idea how to actually say their name, but that's okay. Again, you're going to be joined by GrandisV and Mr. More Rage, please, as we continue through the evening.
Yeah, not sure about Bige either. I've seen a little bit of the Prime, and they look decent in terms of at least their teamwork together. Individual skill is there, but certainly could use some work overall. And Bige, like you mentioned, a little bit difficult on the name. Hopefully, not so difficult to play some Dota. So should be a good matchup here. But yeah, not all that much intel on this matchup. Loser will drop down to the losers bracket, so it's not an elimination game, but certainly is pretty significant in terms of playoff implications and how many games you have to play through these playoffs.
Yeah, definitely. So I can't actually find any games on record for the Bige lineup, but they're going to start things off pretty standardly with a Troll Warlord first pick. We'll see the Sniper, Venge, Axe, and Storm Spirit hit the bin for the first bans.
Yeah, definitely so, and those are all warranted as of the play today, except for the Sniper. But it looks like maybe the Bige do have a strat in mind. A little bit awkward, going to see the Chen picked up in the first phase. A very strong support duo, certainly in the Lion Chen, but usually don't see him picked up this early.
Well, and the right hands can be absolutely devastating. The recent changes to the Chen, just allowing him to be mobile around the map with the Test of Faith being able to drag in the creeps, having 4 creeps, and having the second creep earlier on. I think that he probably deserves this early pickup. Either way, it's going to be Faceless Void second for Bige. Already a really scary duo with the double bashing heroes as well as with Battle Trance inside the Chronosphere. Very potent combinations there. As far as our next stage of bans is concerned, we'll see Bristleback and Batrider taken out.
Yeah, if they have even a little bit more support in terms of damage from the periphery, outside periphery of the Chronosphere, they should be able to bypass something like a Mask of Madness build onto the Void with that Battle Trance Global Assistance and allow him to go a little bit more into a damage-oriented build. Probably see this Void go towards the off lane, but could see him in the safe lane with the Troll in the mid. Troll certainly has been proven to us that he can hold his own in that position. So definitely strong 1-2s from both teams. The Prime are going to have a little bit easier of a time banning out some heroes, presumably thus far as 2 definite cores picked up by Bige.
Yeah, there is a very slight possibility that we see Troll Warlord head out to the jungle, but yeah, this should be just a mid and safe lane farmer or off laner, whatever the case may be. Invoker, the ban coming out from Bige, and Ancient Apparition from the Prime, making sure that they secure the Chen's healing. But outside of that, I don't see a great reason to ban out the AA.
Yeah, it's a little bit odd, but I mean, either way, I guess it synergizes decently well with the Chrono, but it's just a little bit of extra global assistance. And it does buff their lanes, but certainly nothing too scary. It's not bad against the push, but not great, certainly with the cooldown on the Ice Blast. So guess just something Prime doesn't want to face up against. They will have the jungler, so early AA, pretty good in lane.
They'll get the Shadow Fiend at their disposal. The Prime have a very scary mid-game timing if they can hit it properly before Bige really get online with the Troll Warlord and the Faceless Void. But that said, there's still plenty of picks to remedy that fact coming out from their lineup. A lot of supports that are left in the pool that they could be considering. I think Witch Doctor should probably be at the top of their list. The Casket's really annoying up against Chen's creeps, pretty good at counter pushing lanes, and then you have the Death Ward to add some extra oomph into the Chronosphere.
Yeah, certainly so. So not a bad pickup here, but if they're able to jump into the face of this SF, I do worry for him. So look for some little amount of a space creation hero to come out for the Prime, and they will pick up the Slark. So a lot of mobility is provided, I should say, by him, and a little bit of front line, but certainly not the tankiest hero. Not going to take too much focus off this SF. Pretty quick draft here. WD Disruptor going to be picked up by Bige.
Yeah, and a pretty good pick he is, too. I like Disruptor, and I think teams should be picking up a little bit more. Their zoning power in the lane is going to be pretty strong for Bige, and both teams have pretty solid lineups. Although right now the Prime are lacking a convincing way to actually start fights. Blink Dual Scepter might be the build for Shadow Fiend, but even that is pretty limited. Until they get a blink on the Lion, there's nothing great. So ideally they'd get the Bat Rider, but he's already been banned out. What's left for them?
It's an interesting question. They still have the Brewmaster up available to them. I don't know how strong he is here. There's a lot of physical damage, so the dodge is pretty damn good up against what Bige he have. So it's a possible pickup for them. I'm not a huge fan of him in the off lane, as I feel like he needs a little bit more farm, but they're actually going to pick up the Phoenix here. So Supernova can offer a lot against Bige GE, who do kind of want to clump around the Death Ward, around that Static Storm, and the Chronosphere, but certainly an interesting pickup.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the Brewmaster you're talking about a little bit more than the Phoenix. Although Fire Spirits are going to be pretty nice up against the Void and the Troll Warlord. The Battle Trance means that they can still kill the Egg, even if they get tagged by those at later levels. And for the most part, there's not any other big AoE ultimates to stop them from focusing the Egg. So unless the positioning is immaculate coming out from the Prime, I'm not sure if I really like this pickup.
Yeah, maybe it's just something they're comfortable playing. So I do worry for their ability to keep him up. They also have the glimpse if he tries to dive away. So if they get a thunderclap on him to provide vision, they should be able to reliably get that glimpse off onto the Phoenix. Don't know how much he'll be able to get done. Certainly doesn't take too much of the focus off the SF as well. So I worry for the SF for the Prime, and they're gonna get more in your face, more with the in your face theme here for Bige, and picking up the Clockwork to round out their lineup.
And I quite like it. I think this was probably one of the best offlaners left in the pool for either side to pick up, and I think this is a more stable way to go than the Phoenix. And I think that all things considered, Bige's lineup is a little bit more reliable with what it's bringing to the table. But if the Prime get off to a good start, their snowball can be very hard.
Yeah, they do have the potential to snowball, but I think you touched upon it. Reliability, ease of execution, certainly there for Bige. Battery Assault, Cask bouncing around, even the Glimpse, the Chronosphere, Bashes. There's so much to cancel a Requiem here. So without being able to find completely isolated solo picks, the Shadow Fiend's going to have a hard time if he goes for that Yule's Blink build.
Well, to introduce our lineups on the Radiant side is going to be the Prime Gaming with Boo playing on the Chen mid lane SF, going to be by SCL. This Lion on the safe lane, is going to be played by Nefari, and he'll be supporting Slark, played by Monang. I have no idea. Either way, Phoenix going to be heading towards the off lane on Y2K to round out the Prime's lineup.
Yeah, going towards the off lane for Bige, we've got Complication playing on the Battle Trap looking Clockwork. We've got Suzaku on the Disruptor. Towards the mid lane, Serena D going to be playing the Witch Doctor. We've got Audi on the Void, and that leaves Gamer Barrowman playing on the Troll Warlord.
They'll look to very heavily secure this bottom bounty rune for their team, and it looks like they're going to be able to get it, although they were a little bit slow in coming out, or the Prime were just really fast, so they're going to meet them at the moment where they'd like to place down that ward for the Clockwork. No matter where he places it, it's probably going to get spotted out, although he's just going to go for pretty much the most defensive one that you can place for the Clock. Not sure if this has actually been eyeballed by the Prime, but they should know that he's actually dropped it down since he doesn't have his inventory anymore. Slark going to poke his head into the Roche pit, but he might end up getting ambushed. They have the Lion over in the sidelines, but Bige find themselves with a free Monang. He does have a pounce to get out to safety, and he gets the bounty rune, so I think that's a success for Slark, although he does not have a salve.
Yeah, I think it's GG. Both bounty runes going the Radiant side, so we can just end the stream now.
Fair enough. We'll stick in it for a little bit longer than that. We'll have to see if Bige are going to be able to come back from this 200 gold and experience deficit.
Yeah, it's going to be rough, but either way, Troll versus SF mid lane matchup should be a little bit of an advantage for SF once he's able to pick up the souls, but certainly innately, Troll will be able to harass him out a bit, and if he's able to get off the miss chance from the melee whirling axis, should be able to man up.
A Clockwork Flare just exploded in mid. I'm not sure if he actually threw it there. No, that was just a visual glitch. He was using it to CS down towards bottom. But now, for now, both of these offlaners are getting zoned, but the Phoenix should be getting the lesser half of this exchange, and, well, especially so. He's played very aggressively on this first wave, and already eaten through the majority of his region. Although this secures him level 2, he needs to be so careful. Glimpse is pretty much a trump card when you're dealing with an offlane Phoenix.
Yeah, and much like the last game we saw with the Enigma, only having the one support available in the safe lane for the Prime is going to mean that the Clockwork should be able to have a little bit more lane stayability than the Phoenix.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll have to see where the Chen is going to end up going with his first gank with creeps. Right now he has a Dark Troll Summoner, which is pretty darn good. And he'll be able to get his level 3 pretty quickly, 1 or 2 more camps further than this medium Satyr camp. And Bubu's going to have the double creep at his ready to go wherever he wants to. And I think mid should be a pretty likely gank. Does he have a smoke already? No, but he has plenty of gold to purchase it up if he needs it.
Yeah, definitely mid lane are a little bit susceptible to that. Not the quickest hero early on, and certainly not the tankiest either. So that'll be probably his destination. If not, they go for this Clockwork, but they are going to have to lock him down before he gets the cogs off. So we're going to have to see some very nice positioning from Nefari, and he's only got the mana drain right now at level 1.
Well, honestly, his Clockwork right now is very susceptible to dying since he has spammed out his flare very liberally in the last couple of waves, and actually hasn't gotten any CS with it, which is pretty darn surprising. Complication is without any mana regen.
Yeah, that's a big deal here. So certainly they can look to continue to burn that down, and then we'll be able to reliably bring in Bubu for a kill. But either way, as we mentioned, should have a little bit of advantage over his laning equivalent in Y2K's Phoenix, and should be able to translate a little bit better into the mid game, and probably will be a bit more effective hook, often more reliable than the Supernova.
Well then, we'll get back into this game. We'll have to see how it all transpires. Phoenix being spotted out. The cask a little bit late to actually cancel that Icarus dive. It is really hard to actually do that with the cask, but points for trying at the very least. If they had a little bit more levels on Suzaku, maybe they could have been able to glimpse him back. But level 1 glimpse isn't that great.
Yep, other than that, pretty stagnant early game, as you would expect with a jungler being on the Radiant side. So expect some action perhaps in the mid lane or one of these offlaners to be the first death. But Y2K is going to be completely out of regen now. Is going to look to pick up perhaps a lucky 2-minute rune. But already rotations are down from Serena D and Suzaku for the Bige side. And Y2K is going to need to be very careful. Thunderclap will kill him off if he gets into range.
Yeah, he's going to Fairy out of Ring of Regen, which is pretty nice and all for the Phoenix, but not nice enough to actually keep him safe. He is playing a dangerous game, this Phoenix, right now. I expect him to die. I really don't think this is a good call. If Suzaku gets in range for the Thunderstrike, he is gone.
Yeah, and he wasn't able to get there quite yet, but the Phoenix still, as you mentioned, playing pretty riskily. Mid lane, though, they are going to catch the cask over with that Invis rune and a glancing raise as he goes down, but SCL going to feed over First Blood to the Troll, and that'll be able to accrue him quite an advantage in this mid lane. Meanwhile, Thunderstrike, one last tick needed to be there to kill off Y2K, but he'll finally be zoned out of lane.
That Ring of Regen providing some insane value there for Y2K. I think without that, he probably dies.
Yeah, for sure, but he does have to remain in lane there, and he didn't really get anything out of it, and now he's going to rotate back, so overall just a kind of a big waste of time, but as you mentioned, doesn't die there. Meanwhile, mana going to be drained completely out by complication, or for complication here by Nefari in the bot lane, so Clockwork is still pretty susceptible, but Chen looks like he's content to just sit in the jungle and farm for now.
Yeah, not sure if I entirely like this move coming out from Bubu. I think there's a little bit more opportunity to actually get kills. And he's also missing out a couple opportunities to stack and farm up. Right now he has a Wild Wing Ripper that's not doing anything for him. But there you go. Eventually he's going to pick up the slack, and he's going to get a lot of experience and gold from this.
Yeah, certainly. So Slark pretty much free farming, but Audi in his laning equivalent and doing even better, currently sitting at 25 CS, and they will look to put some chip damage into this tier 1, which hasn't happened over in the Clockworks lane. Y2K pretty much totally zoned out at this point, doesn't have any points in the Sunray either, so can't really look to D-push too well, but he does have a full HP pool, so can look to slow down the attacks.
Well, as usual, Southeast Asian Dota is riddled with pauses, and this game will be no exception. Some sort of mouse issue. But either way, Chen finds himself at almost level 5 after these creeps are dead, and he's more than halfway towards his mechanism, should he want to go for that. So the passive playstyle is working pretty nicely for the Prime. Although it's not as fast as an Enigma jungle, it's still pretty darn good.
Yeah, and he hasn't really been disrupted at all, has this Chen. So even working out probably a little bit better. Not sure the Chen will have the immediate influence, but they will be able to queue pushes pretty quickly and hopefully get a little initiation on Monang's Slark here. But either way, hopefully we can get these issues remedied and get back underway. He has committed a creep over towards the mid lane, but with the range form, perhaps Troll's able to bring this down, get a nice little influx of gold going his way.
I don't think the Troll kills the Elber Smasher here.
Yeah, doubtful, but either way, 4-minute rune gonna spawn. Looks like it'll be secured top by Serena D, and bot lane, really no one available to get it. Maybe the Clockwork is able to rotate over, but probably will be a little bit too late if that's the case.
Yeah, right now, hopefully we just get these pauses out from underway. Right now the Clockwork's drawing on the map. It looks like he expects a Chen gank from the right side, but that's actually not going to be happening, as Boo-Boo's just happily farming. But at the very least, the psychological pressure onto the mid lane for Troll is going to force them to play a little bit more defensively, which is pretty nice for this SF. Right now, they're pretty even when it comes to last hits, but now that Shadow Fiend started to pick up that soul momentum, he'll be able to ride this out and should start picking up the farm.
Yeah, both teams don't have vision of either of the supports at this point, so definitely rotations are going to be at least expected, or if not, teams are going to be wary of them. Only the core is visible on the map for either side, so a little bit more, expect a little bit more vision to come out sometime soon, especially with the Chen going to start to roam.
Well, we're going to unpause, we good to go, and well, we are too. The Helber Smasher is going to escape mid lane and potentially even scout out a potential, or scout out a gank onto the SF. I think it spotted out the Witch Doctor, and that's going to be the jig up for their team. The DD rune is going to mean that Witch Doctor gets this CS, and it is going to be a little bit of extra gold and experience for the team, but I still think that's worth it, as it should keep SCL safe.
Yeah, definitely. So they'll rotate around. Serena D's got the DD, but Chen, yeah, as you mentioned, available here. And really only the one level in the cast, no levels in stats. He's holding on to 2 levels currently, is Serena D, in case he needs that instant heal from the Voodoo Restoration, or buff up of heal. But bot lane, Complications finally going to go down without the presence of the Chen. Meanwhile, the Chen going to be aggressed onto Cask, only going to bounce once. And in fact, Serena D probably going to pay with his life. Double raise is going to be there, as well as the Test of Faith. And in fact, SCL gets the last hit.
Chen going to narrowly survive. The Maledict is well on double-digit HP, and although it was a cute move by the Witch Doctor, and under most situations that would work out, SF's raises hurt a lot. He's going to be at the receiving end. Phoenix up towards top, eats a Thunder Strike, and now the time lock forward. One attack. This is a dead Phoenix one way or another. It's going to be given to the Faceless Void.
Yeah, nice set of solo experience, presumably going his way, but either way, a very big kill, and he'll almost eclipse that level 6 mark here. He's going to stand in lane, take quite a bit of damage, no backtrack available to him. Thought the Morbid Mask would heal him up a little bit more there, but probably looked for him to ferry out a salve sometime soon. Monang, rotating around through the bot lane, will be able to jump back, and the Maledict is going to tick down Nefari, so he does skill that in the jungle, but does find a kill with it thereafter.
Yeah, works out in the end. It's going to be Arcane Boots for the Chen first, and really I would like to see Boo-Boo make some sort of rotation. Right now his impact hasn't been felt for his team, and it feels like they need it to. Really, they could have done a lot with a gank in mid, or even killing off the Clockwork in bottom.
Yeah, and they do kill off the clock, but he's picked up level 5 now, and what exactly is this Phoenix supposed to do? Sitting at level 4 only with the Tranquil Boots, no help available to him as well. Chronosphere and the Mask of Madness available to Audi. Battle Trance is up in the mid lane. It's not actually skilled at the moment, so by the Troll Alert, but he will have to be able to solo Chrono up Y2K. Fire Spirits did land on him early, but the Thunderstrike will be there, and it's definitely a dead Phoenix. One last right click from Audi is his first use of Chrono, and a successful one at that.
Yeah, not the cleanest of kills. Actually, Troll has not skilled up his ulti at level 6. It's something to keep in mind. I think it's definitely worth the point, although sometimes you do run into mana issues. I don't think the extra point in Fervor is making up for that.
Yeah, certainly so. Generally, you see 1-for-1 on the Trolls early on, so a little bit odd, but either way, he's going to be able to pick up his level 8 presumably pretty quickly, and has at least CS'd decently well with the Shadow Fiend in the middle. Put a little bit of harass, but SCL going to be able to retreat just fine, pick up his full treads now, and is farming decently well.
Yeah, things are looking pretty good for Bige, all things considered, with the exception being that the Slark is completely untouched. Moonang does have himself a Midas and is going to be working towards Tread's next, so he is going to be a force to be reckoned with, although for now it's not in any immediate items. Witchdoctor, again, going for really, really deep missions behind enemy lines. He spots out the SF, who's going to walk up high ground and try to stack up some Ancients, potentially. But in the end, this doesn't actually net them anything. Sarah and D is not going to find anything. Y2K going to bump into the Disruptor, looking for a solo kill onto Suzaku. With the Fire Spirit damage, it might be enough. Icarus drive right over that kinetic field, and, well, a glimpse back, although it's going to be nice and all, is not going to save the Disruptor's life. Tango isn't going to do it either, but he trades his life, and, well, the Disruptor got the kill first. So in the end, I think that's okay for Bige.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it, and it seems that the Phoenix doesn't even get experience for that, so no recovery at all for Y2K, doing very poorly, still under the level 5 mark. Regen Rune gonna be picked up in the top by the Troll, and he actually opted for the 3rd point in Fervor, so still not grabbing up that Battle Trance. Very odd, considering that he has the Clockwork as well as the Void to need a little help around the map.
I mean, eventually he's going to get it, and I don't think this is really hurting him. Since he didn't go for a bottle, it is pretty hard to maintain that spam, so I can somewhat understand it, but either way, just something to note out that they don't have, and they should play around it. Chen down towards bottom with 2 Hellbears and a Centaur, going to put some pressure onto this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, it looks like they will look to mount a defense. Serena D coming through with his cask, but meanwhile, SCL is going to find a kill onto the Troll, and there is a battery assault being popped up, but the Icarus dive forward is from Y2K. TP rotations are in from the Disruptor, does have the glimpse available. It's not going to be there in time, though. Raise and one more Fire Spirit going to finish off the Clockwork. Very nice 2-0, going the Prime's way, and they'll pick up the tier 1 in the bot lane as well.
Man, that triple raise combination from SCL is nothing to shake a stick at. Doing 975 magic damage at this point in the game is damning for pretty much any hero. And, well, Troll, even though eventually he builds pretty tanky, 777 HP, not enough to survive that. Shadow Fiend kills him off in just a matter of seconds. The Prime, after getting that tower down towards bottom, will find themselves with a nice bit of momentum. We'll have to see how far they're going to be able to ride this one out.
Yeah, we really have seen a resurgence of SF after the buff to that last level in Raise, and that'll give him his Ogre Club on the way to presumably what is a BKB, so he's going to start to hit pretty hard here, as well as be a little bit more reliably able to get off his Requiems. However, there's still the Chronosphere and the Hook to deal with it.
Yeah, double damage rune going to spawn up top. It's going to be given the way of the Troll, and although this is really nice and all, I don't think it's going to immediately get them anything. Phoenix doesn't even try to snag that rune, and smartly too. If Phoenix got bashed inside the Icarus dive, would have been such an easy kill for the Troll.
Yeah, definitely so, but either way, bottom lane looks like maybe some aggression going to come out here from the Void. Dire Vision's not going to see the Slark right now, so he'll be just fine to back off Will Monang. He can jungle pretty reliably, having his Shadow Dance passive available to him, but they're going to give Nefari some of this farm. He's able to pick up that level 6 mark and now has that coveted finger available to him.
Yeah, and it is very scary at this point in the game if you can actually find a gank opportunity. Disruptor and Witchdoctor, very squishy supports at this point, although Witchdoctor is going to somewhat patch that up with a freshly picked up point booster.
Yep, they're going to look towards the mid lane push perhaps with the Chronosphere available to them. SF would be a big kill right now, sitting at 2-1-1, level 11, highest on the CS chart, second highest overall on the net worth. But looks like some pretty decent vision from the Radiant side here. Is going to scout out the Void briefly as he walked past the tree line, and they are playing pretty defensively from the side of the Prime.
Yeah, I don't expect this to actually get them anything, but at the very least, Bige are putting pressure on the enemy side up towards top. Nets onto Suzaku, not going to save him. The Fire Spirits have already been applied, but the Chronosphere over on the sidelines. The Prime Y2K is going to lose his life. 1-for-1 for the Disruptor, or is it? He's still attacking ridiculously fast now with that Battle Trance up and the Mask of Madness at the ready. Going to be able to bash down that egg. Offlaner for support. Again, I think that's good for Bige since the Faceless Void is the one to collect.
Yeah, definitely. So mid lane, they're going to go in with a couple of raises, and the finger from range finishes off Serena D. Blink forward. No, just a jump pounce forward from Monang is not going to be able to continue to cue any aggression onto Barrowman's troll, and he'll be able to rotate down to the southeast and will be just fine. Not really any mobile heroes to look to catch up to him after the use of that pounce.
Well, Shadow Fiend is actually not going to be going for the Yule's build that we're talking about inside the draft. Looks like it's just going to be a straight BKB.
Yeah, I don't mind the pickup at all. I mean, there's still Hook and Chronosphere, as I mentioned earlier, as we do see the Void pick up Boo pretty easily top. No Chronosphere even needed for that one, but he's going to catch the Hadouken. Fire Spirits as well. Mask of Madness going to be buffing that damage up, and looks like he'll probably take down here. Does have the Time Walk. Will be able to get out to the east. 30 HP. Audi able to juke through the trees, and Suzaku rotating in with the hook shot at the ready for complication as well. Perhaps they do look to find a kill. Only the level 1 battery assault, however.
They bump into creep, so that's not going to end up happening. But Faceless Void is a lucky bastard. He ends up getting 2 backtracks on those Fire Spirits, so that's going to save his life. Either way, the Prime looking for Serenady. They're not going to find him. But they'll continue this push just the same. They have plenty of chin creeps at the ready.
Yep, and they're going to look to mount the push on the tier 1. Glyph popped early, though. Wrap around from Nefari. He's going to catch the spike. Troll will be there with the net as well. One last right click from Y2K brings down that Witch Doctor. Glimpse back onto the Phoenix, however. He's going to be able to dive away, but a jump forward from the Void gets instantly hexed. Spike will be there with the raise. Maledict is going to bring down the Lion, but already a 2-for-1. Supernova ticking low, however. Y2K now going to go down, and the Disruptor falling simultaneously will make it a 3-for-2. Going the way of the Prime, and SF still surviving. Tries to TP away, is going to get hooked for his troubles. Cogs will burn out his mana. Nicely placed by Complication, so just a little bit of an annoyance. Not going to allow SF to get to the mid lane and farm, and this will give Gamer the ability to take the T1.
Yeah. We are seeing the weakness of the Phoenix this game. That battle trumps Supernova 9 times out of 10. Counts in mid, however. Gamer is going to be fighting up against Manang, but he's going to lose that fight. Raise is not even necessary from SCL. Double damage rune on Slark being absolutely crucial there. 9 times out of 10, yeah. Droll wins that man fight, but not today.
Yeah, definitely so. Generally speaking, against melee heroes, Troll looking very good. But with the Dark Pact already channeled up, the Mischance not doing the most work up against the Slark. And as you mentioned, the double damage rune going to secure him a kill here. Hookshot down in the mid lane because it was used. So SCL playing very aggressively here, and also does have support inbound from the Chen Creep army. So looking pretty good. Looks like they'll look to take the final tier 1 away from Bige.
And they should be able to do that pretty easily. With the BKB on the Shadow Fiend, they don't really have that much to stop this SF. If for nothing else, just the raw amount of HP and damage that he's dishing is going to mean that he kills them faster than they kill off the SF. And we already see that. He's chunking down the Witch Doctor and the Clockwork, completely zoning out the clock. Now counts over to Suzaku. They'll bring him down. They net down the Faceless Void. He can't even get the Chrono off. They bash up Boo, but they just can't do the damage. The Fire Spirits and the pounce. It's a 4-for-0. The Prime getting away with murder.
Yeah, SCL absolute free reign. Couple of right clicks just absolutely chopping down those supports. In that one, they'll take that final tier 1, and they'll look to encroach upon Roshan as well. So will be a very nice set of engagements for them here. With the Chen Creep army, should be fairly easy to pick off.
Yeah, I don't think there's much the Bige can do without buying back on their Faceless Void, but there just wasn't an opportunity for that Void to do anything. The Chen Creep's controlling out perfectly, and this is going to be a double life for SCL. This has really been the Shadow Fiend's game. He died once pretty early on, but 5, 1, and 5. He's just found so much room.
Yeah, certainly. And Prime, after what was a decent start, are looking a lot better. And now through this mid-game, SF completely uncontested, playing very disciplined early on. 5, 1, and 5 already is SCL. He's been involved in 2/3 of his team's kills, and 16 minutes in the game. You generally don't expect that from an SF.
Yeah, it is really scary for Bige. They need to make sure that this next Chronosphere is miraculous for them, but they still have yet to get that level 2 battle trance, so the Void isn't doing that much damage inside the Chrono. He doesn't have the Maelstrom yet either. He has a long road to recovery. Even though he is the highest net worth on his team, it just doesn't compare to the Slark and SF, as they just really haven't been touched. 2-2 tower and bottom looks like that's going to be mostly conceded by Bige, even though Clock, Disruptor, and Witch Doctor are close by. They can't do anything by themselves, and there's no real use of doing much else than throwing out a flaring cask here or there. He's going to pump fake a hook shot. He's walking up looking for the deny, but this Clockwork, he might just get right-clicked down by SCL. They're going to drop the Static Storm, but that doesn't stop the right-click damage. The damage from the creeps is going to be enough. SCL looks like he might lose the Aegis, but not even that. The heals are too much, and it's a 3-0 as the Prime clean up. Bige staying way too long in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and with the Chen army, there's no reason to not continue to go high ground. They'll mech up, reset, and look right to go for this tier 3. Only the buyback available on the Witch Doctor. They'll probably won't expend it here. Chronosphere is still available to Audi, but he's been scouted out briefly. And they are only putting the Aegis carrier up as the battering ram on the high ground. So well played by Bige, and not sure, or by the Prime, and not sure if Bige want to engage into this.
Yeah, they will start counter pushing with the troll, and they might be able to mop up a couple of these Chen creeps, but SCL, he still has his Aegis, and just look at that Witch Doctor, that's 2 shots, less than half of his HP down the drain. They just don't have an answer. They're going to bounce it back with the cogs, and this is annoying and all, but they need a Chronosphere, and they need it to be good. Audi's over in the sidelines. He's looking for it, but really the Prime are committing nothing more than SCL to this high ground push, and they're going to find themselves a melee barracks. They throw another raise in that Witch Doctor. Man, it's just not his game.
Yeah, they need to do something soon here. They're going to forfeit this full lane relatively easily. They're going to look to man up in the range farm onto SCL, but that long-range Ray is doing so much work. And there's the melee Grax going down pretty much completely uncontested. Still an Aegis and 9-second BKB. Now they'll look to engage. Hookshot out onto Monag. He'll get chronoed up, but it's only the one-man chrono. Static Storm is going to land on 2 with the BKB available from SCL. He'll get the Requiem off. And a Slark still surviving somehow. They pick off the Void and the Clockwork. No buybacks for either of them. They'll chase down Suzaku as well. Presumably, SCL does find one last right click onto him. He will get his Aegis pop by the tower, but not going to matter. Full lane of racks going their way. And if it weren't for their tier 2 still being up, it would have been more.
Yeah, very easily to the Prime. There's just no stopping them. The mech in the hand of God. Keeping Slark alive for so long, it's deceptive how much effective HP that they're sitting on. And while Chen's sitting on 3,000 gold, he's going to get an early Aghanims if he wants it. He almost has it. And SCL, he's going to be buying a Scotty. There's just nothing that can respond to that. They're being out-farmed by the Chen on everybody on Bige.
Yeah, 2 ultimate orbs picked up by SCL as well. He'll have a Scotty very soon. Already 600 gold in his pockets, and I don't know how they bring him down through an 8-second BKB with about 2k HP. So certainly very worrisome for Bige, and the road to recovery is going to be a very steep one for them.
Yeah, well then, the Prime, time to rinse and repeat. There's a double damage rune up top that they could use to push into a tier 2 tower, but then again, I don't think they're very scared of taking this late either, since they have such an advantage and such control over the map. Even though in theory, on even footing, the Troll and Faceless Void is a force to be reckoned with, Bige getting to that point is a different story entirely.
Yeah, on paper they look good in the late game, but with this Midas up on Monang and the ability for SCL to farm as he has been thus far, heroes in fact. Blink forward, there will be an Impale. The Glimpse back is going to keep the Slark out of range. Y2K got out a little bit, but he will be able to get out of the kinetic field. He pops the Supernova, and they're not going to be able to bring this down. Big Stun going to come complications way. He actually does get the Phoenix, but Pounce Dark Pack will finish him off. Audi here, no Chronosphere for another 3 seconds, but the Mask of Madness allowing him to man up. He's going to block out any possibility for a Pounce, but the Stomp is going to be there with the Raise. Huge kill onto the Void. He won't even get the Slark for his troubles. Blink, or he'll be able to retreat and regen up via the Shadow Dance passive, and this is looking like GG territory for Bige.
Yeah. If not GG, it's getting really close. Phoenix, it's only a level 1 Supernova, and that's not a very impressive skill at all. Even just one solo hitting, or hero hitting that, you can kill it off 9 times out of 10. But either way, the Prime, they don't really need their Phoenix. It's all about the other heroes. Tier 3 tower is going to be taken out without much trouble. They'll get a glimpse back, however, onto the Slark. He's under tier 4s, but he might just kill off the Witch Doctor. The ultimate being channeled, but he has his ulti, and now going to turn on the Serenade. In the meantime, it's going to be the Raise combination coming out from SCL that we've seen time and time again, mopping up the Clockwork's face. Melee barracks and range barracks should be soon to fall up in top.
Yep, Hand of God gonna allow them to reset once again. Buybacks are available from both heroes that are dead, but doesn't look like they're willing to expend it at this point. SCL once again just gonna stand in the front lines with the Scotty. 2 raises bringing the troll very low. Jump forward, Chrono is only gonna connect onto the SF. He also got his BKB off beforehand, so the time lock's not doing any work. And with the Chronosphere down now, this is a definite lane, and in fact, GG.
Well played by the Prime throughout the game, just executing well. Not much else to say. Fountain Dive's going to be immense, and in the end, just going to be a nice victory for the Prime. Well, unfortunately, that's it from me, and more rage please if I'm not mistaken. We are going to be passing the baton, so to speak, over towards another set of casters, as this is going to be a very long night of Dota. But don't go anywhere. HeflaTV 1 will have even more games. Next one is going to be featuring Mineski, and they will be playing up against Invasion, so should be a pretty darn good one. Well, other than that, thanks for watching. If you like the casting you see here, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, here on Twitch at HeflaTV, and the VODs we upload to youtube.com/HeflaMilk. I've been GrandisV, and he's been More Rage Please. Any final thoughts before we sign off?
No, just some really solid Dota here from the Prime. We saw a couple of junglers work out for a couple teams tonight, so we'll see if that theme is a recurring one. But yeah, be sure to stay tuned, guys. 10 hours of Dota tonight, so another 7 or so coming your way. Gonna flesh through most of the early rounds in the winners bracket and the first lower bracket round this evening. So be sure to stay tuned. Follow the main caster, the wonderful at GrandisV on Twitter, me at MRP_Dota, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll be dropping the stream just quickly and bringing it right back up for the next set of games.